This is our first task, caring for our children. It's our first job. If we don't get that right, we don't get anything right. That's how, as a society, we will be judged. And by that measure, can we truly say, as a nation, that we're meeting our obligations? Can we honestly say that we're doing enough to keep our children, all of them, safe from harm?
Big questions from President Barack Obama as he attended that interfaith vigil in Newtown, Connecticut last night. Welcome to the WSJ News Hub. It's Monday the 17th of December. I'm Clancy Burton-Hill. Now, with the eyes of America and the world still on Newtown, Laura Meckler is our WSJ White House correspondent. She joins us from DC this morning. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning.
Thanks very much for joining us. This is the third time since the events of Friday morning that Obama has been commenting on the need for change, asking those big questions whether we're doing enough to keep our children safe. Let's take another quick look at what he said on that note.
We can't tolerate this anymore. These tragedies must end. And to end them, we must change. We will be told that the causes of such violence are complex, and that is true. No single law, no set of laws can eliminate evil from the world or prevent every senseless act of violence in our society. In the coming weeks, I'll use whatever power this office holds to engage my fellow citizens, from law enforcement to mental health professionals to parents and educators, in an effort aimed at preventing more tragedies like this.
Laura, what do you think the appetite will be after what happened on Friday for changes in the gun control or gun rights legislation?
There is really not a lot of support in this country for gun control. At least there hasn't been for the last several years, not in Congress or among the general public. And in fact, those facts are what has at least part of what has dissuaded Barack Obama from taking this issue on before. In the wake of 3 previous mass shootings in his presidency, he has spoken of the tragedies, and sort of vaguely talked about action, but has never pursued it. Now we're looking at, of course, what may feel like the most tragic case of all, with all of these children having been slain. And the question is whether he's going to truly take this on, and if he does, what the reception will be.
The gun rights lobby in America is obviously very strong, but is there a case, there will be people this morning saying, come on, at this point, it's unlikely that the NRA is going to end Obama's political career. This is precisely the moment when things really need to change from a legislative point of view.
Certainly there will be people making that case, absolutely. President Obama just won re-election. He'll never be on the ballot again. A lot of people will say, if not now, when? This is the time for him to take this issue on. And certainly listening to him last night, where he basically said, we as a nation have failed to protect our children. And I wonder, as he was reading those words, and he wrote that speech himself, and it was very much him. I wonder if he was thinking that he himself also perhaps has failed in that job to protect our children, in the sense that this has not been an issue he's been willing to take on. So we'll see whether it goes anywhere. But I do agree that that it's teed up. You know, there are a lot of the people who are advocates for this issue are speaking out, are saying that, for instance, it's long past time to renew the assault weapons ban. Perhaps another take on that might be banning high-capacity magazines, which are the bullets that quickly load into a gun in order to rapid fire. And, a lot of people would make the case that there's, no need for that sort of a weapon if you're, hunting or that sort of thing. So we'll see how it plays out. But we heard from the White House yesterday that he was not going to be making policy in that speech last night, and he didn't, although he certainly set it up. And now that some administration officials are telling us that it is likely that he will propose something. So we'll have to see what that'll be.
Well, we saw yesterday Dianne Feinstein proposing that as soon as Congress meets again, she'll introduce legislation for the assault weapon ban again. Just in terms of the investigation and what we know so far, Adam Lanza, the alleged gunman, was allegedly carrying three guns, all of them obtained legally, and hundreds of rounds of ammunition, as you say. In terms of what actually might change and in terms of what we actually know, do we know if the rifle had the features that would have made it an assault weapon that would have been banned under the 1994 law, which has now expired?
Yeah, I don't know if we know that yet. I don't know, and I don't think that it's actually known yet. And actually, because that's part of the reason some advocates say, because of questions like that, that the way to approach this is not to ban a particular weapon, but to ban the magazines, because otherwise, gun makers will just find a way to make the weapon slightly different to escape the ban. So those are some of the policy questions that will have to be debated. But I don't think we know all the facts yet about the exact guns that were used and what those features were and whether they would have been covered.
Laura Meckler in our DC Bureau, thank you very much for your insights there. And of course, we'll be keeping an eye on that gun control issue as it develops.